In the last episode, I talked a lot about connection and connection with myself and how I had that when I was living in Egypt. And on the back of that, it got me like reflecting on the concept of connection and this world that we currently live in, right? Because especially since the pandemic and quarantine periods and lockdowns and things like that, and people being shut off from each other physically, we flocked to the online world, online meetings, zooming, and all of that, because that's how we could really connect with people who we couldn't physically see. But the concept of desiring connection with people, especially desiring connection with people through social media, was around and has been around since before Corona, right? Before COVID-19, before lockdown, before quarantine periods. And I was just kind of sitting down reflecting on that desire for connection, that longing that we have to connect with other people, and even just social media addiction and the feeling of needing to see what's going on the grid, on the timeline, see notifications and things like that, and what's going on in the outside world. And a lot of it points to, like, if we're going to see why people are addicted to social media, besides the fact that it might meet many of the emotional needs that we have, but one of them is the desire for connection. And what's crazy is that sometimes those of us who are addicted to social media or being online, whether that's Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, or whatever, it's not even necessarily that we're communicating with people. It's not necessarily that we are even like sending messages, commenting, whatever. It's sometimes it's passive consumption of social media, just scrolling through mindlessly for hours in some cases, right? And so you might be wondering, okay, LaYinka, what? Like, I'm scrolling through social media mindlessly. How am I how am I connecting with anyone? I'm not even talking to anyone, yo. And the truth is really that false sense of connection, that false sense of connecting with other people based on what they are sharing, that being able to connect with what they are saying, what they are sharing, what they are putting out there into the world via social media. And you don't necessarily even have to interact with that content, but the fact that you have privy to it, that you have access to it, is you connecting to someone else or something else outside of yourself. And the addiction, often that desire to connect with sometimes strangers, with people that we have never met in real life, with people that we might not even necessarily even interact with on social media, that might come from the fact that one has or is lacking connection in their real world experiences, and more so disconnection and lacking connection with themselves and their creator, right? When you are craving, when you really want it, like really want connection on social media, on the internet, online, it usually points to a lack of connection. Let's be real now. A lack of connection in your real world, in your real life, and a lack of connection with yourself and God. And it's not a comfortable truth, really, to have to face. But it's one I think that's important for us to be real about, because then we can start to see the impact of the social media addiction, or the addiction to being online, or the mindless scrolling, and the dissatisfaction that that's really bringing in your life, and the impact it's having on the people around you. And if you want to really stay like that, of course, you've got every liberty to stay as you are. Ain't nobody telling that you have to change. It's for you to, it's your life at the end of the day, right? It's your life. And you can live it however you choose to. You've got that freedom and you've got that free will. this, I guess, this sharing, what I'm sharing right now is an invitation for you to get curious. You know, that's my favorite word, right? Invitation to get curious, to reflect, and to make a conscious decision. Because you know, when you are mindlessly scrolling on social media, you are not doing that consciously. You are unconsciously seeking that connection, that need for connecting outside of yourself. But when you think about it consciously, are you even getting that? Really? Are you truly getting that connection with people? Are you truly fulfilling that need? And what are you running away from when you are running to social media, when you are running to, you know, to the online world? What are you running away from in your real world? And I can say personally, you know, times when I found myself, you know, numbing, because that's what it really, really is. I'm numbing certain, you know, I would be numbing certain pain that I would be experiencing in my real world. And it just felt like a disconnection from that and a connection to something else. So I wouldn't have to be reminded of that. Although sometimes social media is hella triggering and it reminds you of all the things, right? Reminds you all the things that are painful, that are not going right in your life. And you're just like, what is this? This is not what I came here for. So there's that side of things. But, you know, just to get real, you know, just to be real, because I know for me what that has looked like in the past. And alhamdulillah, all praise is due to God. I can recognize that. I can see when I've done that in the past, and I can see why. I know specifically what the purpose is, and I know that when I choose to be conscious, that's not actually what I want. And then, you know, get into that empowered place to choose consciously, rather than being kind of like being a passenger and sleepwalking through one's day kind of thing. So definitely, if you find that you seek connection in whatever way excessively on social media, then it's really, and not even just social media, the internet, because that could just be even you watching YouTube videos. You know, it's not necessarily even like WhatsApp or Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or whatever, or Snapchat, which I don't, do you know, Snapchat's never vibed with me. Like, I just don't get the point of Snapchat. But anyways, I'm digressing. If you're finding that you are excessively enthralled in the online world, then and enthralled by the online world, I would invite you to reflect on what you are running away from in your real world, and how truly you might be disconnected in your real world. And that's what you're seeking. That's why you're seeking connection in a world outside of your own reality.